He saw a meme. You know who? Saw a meme that said I was leaving the country. People always see these crazy memes that I'm going to leave the country if he gets in there. Somebody else thought I was leaving, was sending suggestions for people to take my place. Look.
It's a bit foggy, but let me clear something up. Well, two things. The other day, somebody says, you showed the whole Trump speech in New Jersey. How dare you? Shame on you. And I'm thinking, you've missed the point. Sometimes you don't need to add any context, because the clown just makes a fool of themselves without really needing to say anything. That's the first thing. The second thing is, Trump, Sunday night into Monday morning, picked a fight with Whoopi Goldberg. Understand one thing. When that guy rants and raves, it's not by accident, and this is not me being cynical, it is all calculated. So he's obviously in court today, for a few more days and weeks, with the Stormy Daniels money paid to a porn star via Michael Cohen, needs something else to grab attention. Also, he goes down the whole lane of, long as I spell the name right, they're talking about Trump. He wants The View to talk about Trump. Him and Whoopi have had some strange relationship over the years, and just before we go any further, remember that time they clashed over Obama? It's not like this is new. Whoopi doesn't like Trump. Trump realizes that she can say stuff that gets him talked about. Am I sounding cynical here?
Where? But you know what I'm a little agitated about? That man has something to say to me. He saw a meme. You know who? Saw a meme that said I was leaving the country. People always see these crazy memes that I'm going to leave the country if he gets in there. Somebody else thought I was leaving, was sending suggestions for people to take my place. Look, I'm not going anywhere. Okay? And it's not for the reason, you little snowflake. It's not for the reason you think. He said nobody wanted me. Honey.
We want you, Whoopi.
Well, you know what? It wouldn't matter if no one here wanted me. Thank you. But I know where I'm going to be because I got a contract. So I'm going to be here where I'm wanted for the next couple of years. We'll be right back.
I believe, yes. And I believe as an, I mean, I could give you lots of examples, but if you're known as a patsy, if you're known as somebody that takes it, I think it's terrible.
Well, but the ad hominem attacks, those really are not effective. Personal attacks, like you're fat, you have no talent, all the things he says.
Why aren't they effective? Donald's been doing them.
Well, because he's in a leadership position. I'm not sure that that's an effective way to attack your opponent.
Strange thing that's happened over the last couple of years called Twitter. And I have this account with millions of people.
Right.
And I've got all these...
President Obama, I'm going to quote you. He grew up and nobody knew him. Nobody knows who he is until later in his life. The whole thing is very strange. What are you driving at there? Are you a birther, Donald?
Okay. Something on that birth certificate that he doesn't like.
Oh, my God.
That's a terrible thing.
Whoopi, I'm telling you.
He was 3 pounds.
Dortie, I love you.
Donald,
I'm telling you.
I love you, too. I think that's the biggest pile of dog mess I've heard in ages. The question is, why not show it, right? That's something.
It's really weird to watch that over the years. It's very weird to watch it, but you guys actually you two seem to get along with me. He says I love you to Whoopi at the end.
Well,
What's the
people
biggest
say all
difference?
kinds of stuff, and but the person who began running is not the person I knew.
But yeah, and Joy, you do too. Sometimes you get frustrated with this president, but you were also friends with him. You went to one of his weddings.
I wasn't friends with him.
No?
Don't get carried away.
But you went to his wedding.
I went to his wedding because my manager was working with him, and that's how I got to go to his wedding. I wasn't friends with him.
Would you be his friend now?
I don't want to make Putin jealous, Sonny.
That garbage can orbit of Donald Trump. No doubt that he's nervous.
What'd you do?
On Tuesday, April 4th, 2023, Donald Trump entered a Manhattan courtroom and pled not guilty to 34 crimes.
Squash it. a fucking movie star.
So tick, tick, tick.
Hold on.
Real talk. Let's talk money. It's very interesting. At the weekend, the Trump Organization how to get together where they raised, so they say, almost 50 million. People had to pay $250,000 for the privilege of being in the same room as Diaper Don. Weirdly, this J.D. Vance, maybe he wasn't invited because he now thinks that we've got it all wrong.
You're all wealthy people. I know a lot of you come there.
Well, for the simple reason, Laura, that their policies have benefited, the Biden administration policies have benefited billionaires, whereas Trump's policies benefited working people.
So much money, they can give you so much money. You know what we did, the largest tax cuts in history. Think of it, our military.
Anyone fancy a quick bit of Jamie Raskin laughing right in Comer's face?
I agree, we deserve transparency. Hopefully in our investigations, the administration will turn over the pseudonym emails and the tape, the her tapes and all the other items of relevance to our other investigation that we have ongoing. With respect to...
Is that one still ongoing? I wasn't sure.
Yes, it's...
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
okay,
I know.
gotcha.
Well, see, you need to stop watching CNN. You need to go to Main Street and ask people.
I was just going to have a spoon of yogurt, but I got waylaid. Did you know, Speaker Johnson claims that one of his besties, somebody he's always on the dog and bone phone to, is the Prime Minister of Japan. Who knew?
What are you going to talk to the president about? Think you can help us get something on Ukraine or also on the FISA bill?
We have a lot of things to discuss, talk to him frequently, so looking forward to seeing him in person.
Right now.
Seriously, if they do these presidential discussions, can they get Trump to do a cognitive test live? How should we start? Just get him to spell felon.
They put him into the state of New York and then ultimately into the DA's office to run the case. This is being run by Biden. They put a man in to the state, Letitia Jones, Peekaboo, I call her, Peekaboo. They put a man into that one to Letitia. They put a man into that one to run it, and then he...
I can't say this straight. What's to advertise on OAN?
That's my call to action to you personally, Marjorie. Can we count on you?
Oh, yes, of course, Dan. You can always count on me. Unfortunately, I don't chair a committee, but you have my full support. And if one of our committees will actually take that up, and I think we should, it should be one of the most important things we do, protecting the free speech of Americans like yourself and protecting free press, which is from you. Yes, of course, you have my support. You always.
The Trumps are having a bit of a day. There's Eric being ignored by everybody, so he's now resorted to showing off his, it's a collection of medals. No idea what he won them for. Being the best Gary Busey Jr. lookalike, maybe. And then former guy he's learnt a new word. Liberal millionaires.
Pledging to make a monthly donation starting right here, right now, is the #1 best way to help us win back the White House. Joe Biden has liberal billionaires bankrolling his crooked campaign. If we're going to defeat his dirty dollars, we'll be really doing it and doing it big. We have to do it because we have to save our country. Monthly support from patriots like you is probably the best way. Even if it's just $5, anything helps. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Poor old Fox News. They've tried and they just can't find a picture of the late O.J. Simpson. But we found one that they might be interested in.
A little bit prior to that. But this guy was living a charmed life, came from nowhere, used his athletic ability and his drive to soar to great heights. And I remember he was the first one to really break through, although Jim Brown with the Dirty Dozen.
There is a clip we play sometimes, a Chipboy going, "Give me one! Just one!" He's upset that the GOP are not really doing anything to encourage people to support them. They're doing a lot of infighting, though.
Escalates her attacks.
The motion to vacate is real. We can't continue to be led by our elected Speaker of the House that's passing the Democrat agenda. Our voters will not tolerate that.
All of it enraging fellow Republicans.
This is incredibly reckless. This is nothing more than just, look at me, no one else is paying attention, so here's my motion to vacate. Now it's my time.
I think it's an absurdity that's unnecessary, and frankly, it was a mistake when this Congress allowed it to happen to Kevin McCarthy.
It's an impossible job. The Lord Jesus himself could not manage this conference. Or this kind, you just can't do it.
Johnson will soon see his razor-thin majority shrink, giving him just one vote to spare. But the right wing continues to give Johnson fits, furious over his deal-making with Democrats and warning him about his moves ahead. Green outlined her anger in a scathing 5-page letter attacking Johnson over his handling of a funding package to keep the government open. And in a 70-minute meeting with Johnson today, warning him not to move ahead with any more aid to Ukraine or a bill to renew the FBI's warrantless surveillance authority, something former President Donald Trump successfully urged Republicans to kill earlier today.
Most of the members I've talked to support the letter that I sent, and they completely agree with it. And that's the only feedback that I've heard.
But Johnson offering this warning if Green moves ahead.
It would be chaos in the House.
Yet several hardliners are open to Green's call for his ouster.
I think she has some valid concerns. I'm not closing the door. Are you ready to vote to vacate the Speaker?
We're not going to go down that path right now. I think that the Republican conference as a whole needs to really figure out what we are about.
If he does move forward with any Ukraine package, could that cost him his job?
Yeah, I think it'll be a real risk for the Speaker to move a giant package.
Here's something I never thought I would see. Somebody on Fox who knows about the economy telling a Trump spokesperson, no, things weren't that brilliant 4 years ago. This really did happen. The guy got told, Neil Gavota told the guy to his face.
Or remembering where they were, and I think this is going to help Donald Trump, and I actually think that he's playing on the fact that they were better off under his administration than they are right now, even though Biden is saying it's better.
All right, well, we can go back and forth on whether people are better off. We were knee-deep in the middle of COVID, and I'm not blaming that on the former president, but of course the economy had ground to a halt, so you know you have to pick and choose your dates and times. But
being a researcher at Fox must involve quite a few things. Who knew that hanging out at libraries and discovering that it's all going on at libraries, by the way. This is a graphic. Somebody typed in the comma as well.
Earlier comments. New York Times headline, Democrats hammer a simple attack on abortion. Donald Trump did this. And he did. And the consequences are absolutely terrible for women and also for Republican candidates.
Yeah, while Willie was bringing in this story, I wrote 4 words on my paper. Donald Trump did this. That is what that's the message. That's the message, and that's what the Biden campaign has said. And it's as simple and powerful. I think we're going to hear Donald Trump did this about a lot of issues as the year goes on, including those connected to assaults on the democracy on January 6th. But most powerfully,
well, and also Donald Trump, and we're going to be talking about this too. He's desperately trying to run away from all the times he said he wanted to do away with Obamacare.
Yes.
Now he's saying, oh, no, Obamacare. I forget what I said about John McCain going like this. Maybe I like Obamacare. Yeah, so he's flip-flopping. He just looks so weak and desperate right now.
A Truth Social video yesterday, he tried to say, no, I'm for Obamacare. I just want to change it. And we can fact-check like about 1,000 times he said he wanted to overturn it. Donald Trump did this.